I don't think it's all that important, but it feels like 50% of our league's 80 carries are former T1 80 carries. It's kind of ludicrous. Here we are, getting into game number 1 here, HLE versus the Bros. The Bros did have the ruffle, or the right of first selection, which is not actually, it's not the acronym, but it's what we came up with yesterday. Were you watching yesterday, Daniel?
I was watching, yeah.
Oh, wow, you were. So you do care about the LCK at least enough to watch a little bit yesterday.
I was watching, and then I got called out, and I was like, oh, man, I had to get it in just in time.
Yeah, I really wanted to, like, throw you under the bus during the broadcast, but you actually did get the predictions in just in time. Just to catch everyone up, there's actually a retweet of a brilliant video on my Twitter that the LCK made of all the shenanigans that happened yesterday. Yesterday was a weird day.
Yeah.
But Daniel Ox Harrison was a bit late with his predictions.
It's because my day off was Wednesday, and so I just, in my mind, I was
you
like,
were weekending.
Yes, my first day was Thursday, so I just didn't think about any of the stuff we do. I was like, I always leave it late.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'll do it the day before I go back to work, but that was yesterday.
Yeah, and unfortunately that is the day that work starts, regardless of whether you're there or not.
It was just poor planning, poor decision making.
Thankfully, we did get the reminder out, and you got in there just not in time for the actual graphic. Which is just a little bit sad. We're having a look. There are some of the bans coming on through here, as we do see Jace and Malphite do get banned away. Jace with 1 victory out of the 2 games that he has played, and Malphite with no victories just yet. Still on the ban list, though, as the Rumble, I think, has been the most dangerous out of these bannable champs. And this time around, we've got Azir and Orianna both left up and available. Zeka is likely to pick the Azir. Roma, I hope, doesn't pick Orianna, because that left a little to be desired. But the Pantheon first pick, I think, is a pretty dangerous one that Gideon locks away here, and I think just quietly has become the most coveted jungler on the patch.
I think suggesting as well that if Azir is picked up by HLE, it'll be Pantheon Talia.
Yeah, true.
We often see the Talia into the Azir. In terms of jungle picks, the Vi, a potential option that could be taken by HLE, but with the Pantheon already secured, no huge pressure to take jungler right now. Nico also something that has been let through to support with the highest ban presence so far. So we'll see if that gets a look in. Obviously, Delight very favored on these engaged supports, so could have a look towards that.
Yep. Will Kanavi be locking away a pick for himself, or will it be something else? Is Gumayushi, his world-famous Varus, going to be locked away? We'll be able to check out his cool skin that he got last year. That's a little bit of fun. There is the Orianna that was the expected trade. I did kind of like your line of thinking there, Ox, as yesterday, even if the Talia Pantheon didn't win a whole lot of games, it was still very potent in the early stages, as Teddy locks away Jhin, which makes me not feel very good at all. But I guess, you know, you can do stuff from long range. You can follow up from a Pantheon engage as well. I mean, there are a lot of options that you can go with there. I just don't feel like Jhin does very much.
I think as well, part of it is a lane matchup into Varus. As soon as a Varus is put down, it immediately puts this pressure that you have to pick something that can lane into it.
True.
There's a lot of picks that you just get bullied out. But it really sets up for this Jarvan pick that comes through, because now you have an immobile AD carry and an immobile mid laner. So the Cataclysm value, if anyone's flashed us, they are just trapped inside that. And I love the Bard ban that comes through, because it just denies that stasis that obviously buys so much time in the Cataclysm. Alistair going to get banned away from Delight. I think that's generally a pretty valid pick. Nico still open and available, though, hasn't gotten a look in yet, so maybe that comes through as a ban.
And with the Alistair and the Bard both being banned away, 2 of the champions that would be played into the Nico if it does actually get left through, I think that there is a lot of Nico ban pressure that is being thrown out, and it is going to be HLE that falls for it. And so they will be taking that one away. Now, final ban to come on through here for the Bros before we get into HLE going for their B4. And it will be Nautilus taken off the table. So we could have like a Rel here for Delight, something like that. We'll have to see exactly where he does want to go. Maybe it is going to be saving his pick for last, as Support Counterpick has been very, very popular here on this patch with how important it is to win that 2v2. But instead, it's going to be his very famous, potentially very famous Rakan.
Yeah, this
instead cycling through a bunch of stuff.
Those are the 3 options. I think if you go Rakan here, then you aren't really too worried about them going something like a Braum. That being said, Braum Jin's not like the strongest combo, slow auto attack's not the quickest to stack it. But I think there's not a huge amount of threat for Rakan. There are some games, like if it had been the Pantheon Talia, There is that Unraveled Earth threat on the Rakan, but this feels like a pretty
okay
game. And actually, this has ended up being a flex of the Pantheon and bringing out the Nocturne instead. So, bit of a clever game here from the bros. Now have that Nocturne Orianna combo, and then running the Pantheon support. So a lot of bans were thrown towards the support, and bro, like we already have ours in the bag.
I can't remember. Do you think Zeus is good at Kennen?
Yeah, pretty good. Pretty happy to take those range tops. So I think that'll probably just be the expected pickup here, especially with a Rakan and a Java, and you have the setup.
All right, decides to go for the prehistoric version.
Yeah, but a range top that does well in the Renekton, pretty confident with that.
Yeah, that's... Blind picking Renekton into Zeus is so illegal. I just feel like there's like a list of things that you're not allowed to do in the LCK, and that's very high up there.
Yeah, I also feel like the Gnar with the Jarvan, I remember this was when Gnar first came on the scene, such a strong combo, because you get that extra terrain to slam them into. A lot of terrain actually with the Azir and the Jarvan thrown about. And, you know, sometimes you see a flex and you're like, hey, you know, that's an interesting flex, but how much are you actually necessarily gaining on the back of this? Because they obviously get the Nocturne Orianna combo, but they could have just done that in the earlier portion of the draft. And the Pantheon support that comes out, you know, we've seen it have a lot of early damage, and you have that obviously that survivability with the Aegis that comes out, but it can really struggle later on, especially if it doesn't snowball. And the value that Rakan has in the 5v5 is way higher.
Yeah, it's absolutely true. I actually think that there's going to be a whole lot of fighting, and the team fights are going to look really cool between both of these squads. We'll see whether the bros can actually get this Orianna Nocturne combination to actually work out. We've seen some teams struggle a little bit with it, but when it does work, man, it looks good. We've got Zeus's Gnar skin, though, as well as Gumayusi's Varus skin, which is pretty dope. The fact that both of our T1 players on HLE are representing their own outfits. Let's get into it. Game 1. All right, bro fans, very loud here in Lol Park today, which is absolutely fantastic. And let's see where the first battle lines are going to get drawn. I'm excited to see whether, you know, Namgung is actually going to carry on from a little bit of a improved performance from his very first game. Wasn't looking all that hot when he first came out. So here we go, having a look at Zeus with those very cool glasses on his Gnar skin.
Yeah, one thing with this bot lane duo of the Jhin and the Pantheon, the execute damage with fourth shot from the Jhin and the execute that the Pantheon gets on his Q, combined with the ignite into like a squishier support like Rakan is really threatening. So Guma's got the teleport as well. You do have more sustain with the fact that the Rakan has sustain. You do have a good amount of poke, but you are definitely not wanting to go into any all-ins against the bro bot lane here. Just poke, prod them down, keep yourselves healthy. But if you overcommit, you could really easily just get exploded in this 2v2. So you've got to be careful. You can see a lot of respect given here already.
I think they have to. I think as well, try to utilize Gleaming Quill value, right? Go for very short trades. Try and, like you say, get that poke down and then utilize the extra sustain that you will have available to you. Kanavi, full clear of the bottom side. Same thing to be said for the top side of the map here for Gideon, as they will be finishing up on opposite sides of the map. Just have to see what our junglers do have in mind for their very first moves.
So interestingly, Teddy actually went Cosmic Insight instead of Cashback. So all the 80 carries have been running Triple Tonic and Cashback. And the reason Cashback has been so popular is it did get buffed last year, but also now you get 6 items. It's so much value. By going Cosmic Insight instead, you get the lower Summoner cooldown, but it means you're just losing a lot of money over the course of the game. Like by the time you get to like 4 items, that's, you know, 1,000 gold just gone in comparison to your lane opponent. So definitely something that will add up over the course of the game.
We'll see exactly how he's going to be able to utilize this, as Delight does have to battle dance his way away. And Gumayusi with some Blight stacked up. Namgung is looking a little worse for wear, but they'll be okay. This is exactly what we were talking about, right? If HLE can continue to just do little trades like this, then things should be all right. This casting here towards the top side avoids the boomerang quite nicely there, but we know that this Gnar matchup is just not a whole lot of fun.
Yeah, And especially, it's one of those matchups where it's not like, okay, it's a little uncomfortable early, but you can just deal with it until later, because eventually in the side lane, the Gnar will just run you down. It doesn't get more fun. There are windows for the Renekton to find all in if the Gnar misplays, especially once the Renekton gets his ultimate, but for the time being, it is just going to be punishing. Gnar hasn't been doing so hot, but no, Zeus, definitely the player that you are looking to maybe break that unlucky streak, even though he's part of it so far.
Yeah. We did see the Gnar blind pick yesterday, which really didn't help. That was one of the more strange draft decisions that we have seen so far here in the LCK Cup. But this was definitely more of the counterpick option, and Zeus, certainly a pretty good one to pilot it, as this was the champion that he debuted on all those years ago. And he won that game. He did look pretty good on the champ as well. So since then, has just continued to do a fair bit of winning. As you guys know, the history of these Tier 1 players has been a fair bit of success, as it turns out. That's all right. Namgung goes in. It's a decent deadly flourish there from Teddy, who was reloading for the majority of that little exchange. Yeah, one of those issues.
Resets have come in, and I feel like that's the window once you have the reset where the broad bot lane is going to feel confident. You know, when everyone's healthy again. It's like attrition for HLE's bot lane. And just looking for the burst from the bro bot lane. Nice dodge in the Gleaming Quill. That ability heals so much ever since they buffed it.
Yeah.
It was a while ago now, but it feels like you're playing against Soraka when you're trying to dodge your Qs, and each one that lands, you're like, okay, well, that's just undone a trade. I mean, look how much that value just got there from Delight connecting it.
Yeah, it's kind of ludicrous. The one good thing here for the bros is that they just do a lot of damage quite quickly. So you were talking about the executes and things like this, the ignite that Namgung does have. If they do actually go for an all-in, if Gideon does finally get towards Paranoia and makes his way towards that bottom side, I think it's still going to be very dangerous here for Gumayusi and Delight, especially when Guma doesn't have a massive amount of peel. If Zeka isn't in the area, for example, or if Zeus doesn't have Mega. Gideon, though, is going to be starting off this Dragon, as Deadly Flourish can hold Delight in position there, as Roma possibly in trouble. Yeah, he's incredibly low. The knockup does come on through max range from Kanavi, but Gideon makes his way over. Roma is out of this fight, though. No mana, no health. And that means that this Dragon is going to be left alone.
Yeah, it just felt like such a risky start on this Dragon. It's like assuming that the enemy team just isn't going to act on it, isn't going to challenge you, when Roma is so low in terms of health. They gave a free window. And in fairness, you did end up trading up and stuff. Oh, Kanavi in trouble now.
Yeah, Dominus is going to get procced here by casting. Slices, dices as Kanavi is looking to hold on to him, but he might just die. The flash does actually get used, but unfortunately does not work out. And Gideon doesn't get the vision required, or doesn't decide to go for the Paranoia. I'm not quite sure whether he was in range either. Level 6 is deceptively low as far as the range is concerned, but still doesn't pull the trigger. And we see no one going down just yet. Flashes for both top laners, though, now on cooldown, and Kanavi also does not have his.
Yeah, it's good peel from Zeus, and I feel like you're feeling so bad about that as bro. The fact that Gideon committed the ult to try and make that play work. Zeus, oh no.
Yeah, he's hopped over the wall.
Okay, he's fine.
But casting is just going to wander his way out. Zeka was going for the Emperor's Divide and does use it, but wanted to get behind Roma there. Decides instead he'll just use it for a little bit of extra damage.
Yeah, he got the flash though from Roma, so still happy. And a lot is being extended. We kind of had, you know, the lanes were played out very slowly, not much happened, and then suddenly we get this rapid fire action. We got 2 flashes from the side of Bro, both solo laners burning theirs. Zeus burns his. Obviously, Knavi's went down around that bot side fight with the Dragon. So now the question is who gets to capitalize on these summoners not being available. I will say something for the Bros. They have a lot of global pressure with that Nocturne ultimate and the Pantheon as well. So I think that's a point they can really look to leverage. And try and find numbers advantages on the back of that.
And they can use Curtain Call as well from very far away, so it's likely that they will be able to get some follow-up on sort of anything that is going to happen here. Kanavi standing on a ward, so Roma does know exactly what's going on. So far, 0-0-0 for the Orianna, and very even on farm. So even though that flash is on cooldown, he is still being able to last hit the minions and feel all right with himself. So definitely a little bit of a turnaround here as far as the comparison to his performance on the Orianna against Showmaker last week.
I remember the Orianna into Showmaker also started off with a burnt flash.
Yeah.
It is into Azir though, not a LeBlanc, so hopefully will pan out a little bit better. But it really depends on whether Kanavi opts to show up mid and how Roma plays out the lane position. If you are playing close to tower, it's going to be hard to really punish, but when those cooldowns are available, it gets a little spooky.
Well, casting just going to be slicing and dicing around the wave. Pick that one up. Gideon should be able to grab these last remaining grubs. First one did go over to Kanavi, though. Decides that he doesn't really want to fight for too much more. Zeus almost takes a second one there for HLE. But not going to be the case. Yeah, very close. As that is going to be 2-1 as far as those grubs are concerned. But still a 600 gold lead for HLE. The game very even.
I feel like we've seen a lot more of these early games where it's just a bit slower until a big fight happens and that kind of opens up the game.
Yeah.
I think with home guards as well, it's really harder to punish too heavily. You know, if you force it back, or even if you do kill someone, quite quick to get back to lane. Now, I feel like they are setting up potentially for Roma. Roma's playing very defensively, as he should be.
Yeah, I feel like he's learned from what happened earlier on. Slow and steady wins the race. And, you know, maybe that is not the way that he plays things out in solo queue, which I think I could understand. But just going to get some vision down. First streak still hasn't been taken here at 9.5 minutes. So certainly going to be emphasizing that much longer game that we are having right now, or slower, I should say. 500 gold, though, still the lead here for HLE, and I think they're very happy to play a slower game with the composition that they have. Is Roma going to get picked up, shoved back, and destroyed here? As in goes Delight. That is first blood going over to Zeka, as he's now looking to try and escape. Gideon wants to get on top of him and does manage to help Namgun get the kill. Dustbringer comes on through. Gideon is just going to get out of there. So a 1-for-1 as both mid laners hit the dust, but it is going to be first blood advantage over to Zeka there on his Azir. Casting now, looking for an angle. Zeus just wants to kite this crocodile around the rift and does manage to get the punish there. Boomerang also going to be pretty dangerous, as it does proc the hyper as well.
I think ultimately you can't be too unhappy with that situation from the side of Bros, right? Even though the first blood goes to HLE, the fact that Roma was without flash, you knew that play was coming, you kind of expected this, you're able to respond and trade it back, so, you know, Roma's just very dead in this scenario. That's inevitable, but the fact you get an answer back, despite the fact that Zeka did have flash, you know, you're okay with it. Unfortunately, the kill did end up going over to the Pantheon, but of all the supports to have, Pantheon, I'd say one of the champions who can do a bit better with gold compared to others, so... Yeah.
Roma is now going to get flashed on. There's a knock-up, and I think he's just dead again. Zeka just collects another one.
Look how close it is.
Beautifully calculated there by HLE is what I'd like to assume.
Oh, that's so unfortunate. That one just feels like a freebie.
Yep.
Now you're not feeling so good. And HLE put the pressure down.
Chains of Corruption does go wide. Miyoshi unfortunately not able to hit that one. And HLE, they will be able to get a plate here in this mid lane, as Roma is still dead for another 5 seconds, doesn't have teleport, so it could be actually a lot missing here from the mid laner. So once again, 1,000 gold almost the lead here for Zeka in that isolated 1v1 against Roma. And they're going to translate that into a dragon as well. HLE really starting off, putting together a big advantage as casting here on this top side of the map, trying to channel the Lord's Renekton as best he can. And it's a struggle.
Yeah, he's not having a good time.
Yeah, and Morgan, let's be fair, did have some rough times as well.
I feel like it was just Roma being baited in by the fact that he knew these big cooldowns weren't available, and his flash was nearly back up, because you saw how defensive he was playing without his flash being down. And then you look at that clip, and it's like, okay, this is crazy. Yeah, bit of an overstep, immediately punished. Good gank there by Delight to punish. Ooh. And now HLE with a pretty sizable lead, 2,000 gold ahead.
Yeah, 12 minutes, that's actually a big deal.
Yeah. And look where the gold is as well. You know, there's a good spread between all 3 laners.
Yeah.
Exactly where you wanted to be.
Carries with money. And Namgung, he's the one that did manage to pick up that kill from earlier on. And so there's a reason why he is slightly ahead. But Delight helping out with both of the kills so far has meant that he is able to keep up completely. Zeus now underneath this turret as the Mega Gnar, and will be able to take another plate by the looks of things. Yeah, that's very comfortably going to go over his way. So even more money into the coffers of HLE. As a possible fight here is Delight going down relatively low. Roma looks for a bit of an angle here, holds on to the Shockwave, and there it is. Gets thrown out, delivered by the Nocturne, as now Kanavi going to have to flag and drag his way out of there. As Control Ward does go into that brush, Casting continues to be in trouble as Teddy looking for Guma. There's the knock-up. Sorry, the stun potential on to Guma, but does just flash the wall, gets out of the way. Namgung, no joy for him.
You know what's really tragic is that Delight's support quest, he actually got over the gold threshold, but you can't level it up while you're in combat. So he clearly got the gold he needed to get it over the 800 threshold, but because he didn't have the Celestial opposition there, it was so squishy.
Oh yeah, true.
And you saw how he just kind of got exploded there. Now does have the Celestial opposition, and if that same play had happened again, he would be a lot harder to kill. But you see going in here, to be fair, looking at this play, it would have just got procced by that phase Q. He would have just died anyway,
yeah.
In hindsight.
And there was probably a bit of overkill there as well, as the Shockwave did what looked to be about 50 damage.
You know, I was running the Delight defense. Celestial opposition ain't saving you there, buddy.
However, you know, still a valid point and something that people can think about for the future.
Well, he has it now, so there you go.
Yeah. Zeus also going to be throwing out an ulti towards Casting here as the boulder does go wide. But there is the knockup from the grand entrance. Delight just going to walk it off here as Kanavi wants to make his way in. Namgung is in position though, and Gideon off to the side. So I think this 3v3 should be enough to dissuade any potential dive. As we'll just have to see, because it looks like HLE is still keen for something. The health bars are relatively low, and this turret is also. Teleports come forward from Roma, who wants to be able to save this as they do get rid of the minions. As Namgung, decent little Aegis.
But these sorts of plays feel so bad because Zeka's on the other side of the map. He's just going to be able to push down and get some plates on this tower. You're not actually saving the tower in the long term. You're just stalling it. Like, this tower is not going to survive forever. Look how low it is.
I mean, it's probably down on this wave, right? Yes, I mean, he only has Roma to deal with. Decides not to push it forward, but I think
they're going to go for the Herald. But the thing is, everyone was so low. You're still giving up pressure on that side of the map. The teleport isn't allowing you to make a counterplay. It's just stalling their play out. That being said, they are now back on the map and looking to contest this Herald, so...
Yeah, walking up now. Kanavi takes the long way round. Does have to flag and drag to get himself to relative safety. Now gets back over the wall as they look for the smite fight, but there is the combo! Blast Cone does come on through there, but Guma nowhere to go from that, and the Rift Herald, it actually reset. And so the bros don't actually lose anything out of the play. They just blow up the Varus and get on with their day.
Yeah, catch Gumiishi without flash, and that's the power of that Nocturne Orianna combo. And now HLE, no real way you can fight this. Everyone's healthy again. Everyone got a chance to reset. So maybe the TP value coming in there, giving them some time to get back on the map.
Oh, Kanavi just steals it away. Looks to get in there to try and grab the eye, but he will just be dying for it. Zeka trying to get on over. Finds one with the Emperor's Divide and then just finds the Death Chamber. Now the curtains have been called. Delight does collect Shelly. So the two sacrificed for one Rift Herald is going to be thrown down immediately here as Gumiishi is going to usher her towards this outer turret in mid. But you can see it in the gold, the bros actually being able to pull this back quite considerably. Oh, stun does come on through here as Namgung's back one more time. Oh dear. Gumiishi got a little bit of practice going into the Death Chamber just recently, and he is going to do it once again.
This game has started to turn extremely chaotic.
I like it. I feel like the LCK Cup this year has been a lot of this.
Wait, I think every single member of Bro flashed here. So we have this combo that comes in, and they can obviously just kill Guma. But then in this ensuing play, so all 5 flashes are up. I'm going to try and see if we can count them.
All right.
So this play comes out.
First flash.
Yeah, there's 1. And then the shuffle comes in. There's 3.
Yeah.
That's 5. So
oh my god, everyone.
Member of Bro flashed in that play. Yeah, wow.
And so I said it wrong. So Zeka went in and he found one person with the Emperor's Divide. However, he did find every flash that was still left up.
That's a crazy summoner economy right there. Fortunately, the Bros did pick up the Dragon, so they don't have to worry about... They will have their flashes back for the next one, but it does mean there is a period of time where they are without those summoners.
I really like this quote here from chat. Bro flashes together.
Yes!
Chad.
You know what?
Just gorgeous.
They're a new roster, right? We needed to see some synergy. That was synergy.
Yep.
Right? That was synergy right there.
The camaraderie is just still looking beautiful. As blue buff going to be stolen away here by HLE. Comfortably so. Gumushi is going to be gathering that one as Teddy is going to collect a red. And we'll be back about our business. But 1.7k here at 18 minutes into the game doesn't feel as dire as the 1.2 at 12.
Yeah, it's definitely slowed down. And you look at the goal differences. Zeus is ahead, right? The Snar is going to be a bit of a menace in the side lane. But, you know, mid lane, there's a bit of a lead. 80 carries. Teddy's ahead, despite the fact he doesn't have cash back. So, you know, this is an honestly earned gold equivalence, right?
Kind of crazy.
Yeah.
And 2 items complete, Ghostblade and the Rapid Fire Cannon. This is not a 2-item spike. I feel like this is like the 2-item sadness, because these two don't necessarily, like, it's good utility, right? And you get the extra range, movement speed, blah, blah, blah. It's good, but Infinity Edge feels absolutely incredible after these items have been put together. So it does kind of need those. And then Armor Pen,
Yeah, so it's a little bit...
more like a 4-item thing. Maybe Cashback would have been a good idea.
Cashback is pretty good.
Well, Roma, let's see whether he is going to keep himself alive as Zeka breaks the arm guard. Roma now inside the Cataclysm. Emperor's Divide just to get rid of the Nocturne, and down he will go. Casting types in though, and they are able to answer it with a kill onto Zeka as Zeus gets the flank angle. They find the knock up there. Chains of Corruption connects on towards this Pantheon, who is not long for the world. He'll get taken down here as Gumayushi just keeps casting at arm's length. Delight wants to do the same, but they do kite him out and take down the Croc. And it's all in exchange for just Zeka.
You know, I feel like the lack of flashes definitely played into that fight there. The Cataclysm value, just knowing whoever you press ult on, not able to use it. Roma's is actually back up already because he has the upgraded Ionians, but Bro opted into a fight. The gold deficit wasn't that big, but I think the summoner economy didn't help him out too much there. And I think having the stasis already for Zeka, he ends up being the focus point, but not able to immediately punish him, buys a lot of time here. The shockwave doesn't immediately kill him. He gets the shuffle off onto Gideon, who then dies. And Zeka just forces so many cooldowns here. You know, it's a 1-for-1 between the mid laners, and then the jungler dies as well, sorry. So 2-for-1 at the start of this fight, and then the Pantheon's not doing much, and Casting is just kind of left in the middle of 4.
Yeah, almost manages to kill Delight, gets his flash, but is ultimately not able to get too much done, and Teddy just had to vacate the area. Nothing the Jhin could really do in that moment. And so now it is just advantages everywhere as they look to try and kill Gumayushi one more time, but the Deadly Flourish, it goes wide. Cataclysm from Kanavi just to buy some space as the Dancing Grenade just going to be enough to help take down a cannon. And HLE, good defense, not able to actually take down the Varus this time.
Yeah, Guma getting the ult down there was absolutely huge. I do think a little bit hard to chase him under the tower there. Guma's positioning was really good, but also if Gideon spell shields the ultimate, you feel really bad about it. But whenever you're without flash in a game like this as the Varus, you're always really in an uncomfortable spot. And the fact, whenever he's able to survive an assault like that without that summoner, you're feeling good.
Yeah, gonna have that one up relatively soon, still a couple of minutes away. Teddy still hasn't died, 2-0 and 3 on this Jhin, but still not exactly looking fantastic. Looks like it is going to be Lord Doms coming in as the 3rd item. And so it's going to be a while before those crits are really feeling good with the Infinity Edge that is going to be relegated to 4th. And I don't even know whether we're going to get there. It's a 5,000 gold lead here for HLE. It's a Cloud Soul this game as well. Absolutely love it. We had Ocean like 3 times in a row yesterday at the beginning. Yeah. I'm hoping that now we get Cloud 3 times in a row today. That is feels only fair. You know, you get one of the most boring ones, and then you get the best one ever.
Yeah. You see Bro trying to set up here, but I'll be trying to zone them away. They do now have all their flashes back up together, you know? They have that synergy going for them.
By the way, we need someone else to like get a kill in this game because I imagine the kids in chat are kind of losing their minds right now on the scoreline. So we just need to really change that so that we can focus one more time.
Oh, you have to bring it up, didn't you?
Yeah, well, look, sometimes you got to address the elephant in the room. Hey, there's an elephant, okay?
They're trying to set up for Guma. Oh, they blue trinket him.
Yeah.
They lose vision.
There's Paranoia. They do throw down the shockwave, but Guma actually gets thrown in a safe direction. Namgun goes in there. Finally, we're safe from the 6-7, but that is going to be 2 kills going over to HLE to start this one off. The Bros are able to answer it, though. That's a great knock-up as Kanavi is on the warpath, takes down Roma. They do finally manage to kill Zeus. So it's a 3 for 2 in the end, but it should mean that this dragon goes over to HLE.
I think keeping Guma alive without Flash is a near impossible task against this Bro composition. But HLE are making them pay for it when they go for these engages. The fact he's able to survive the initial assault, and then Namgoon comes flying in to finish him off, is immediately charmed and ends up dying as well. Oh, Zeka does have Flash and ult, and he's a Zir, so he's completely fine.
He did the old shifting of the sands.
Yeah, so we see they throw down the blue trinket, and they dive in on Guma. And he does manage to get the ult off as well to root up the Nocturne and get some space. And then the Pantheon flies in, is immediately charmed, but flashes in and ignites him, and that will take him out. But that's 2 members down to take out the Varus. Zeus does end up going down. He was buying time on the backline. But it's just so many members traded to take down this Varus that it just ends up not being completely worth it for Bro, and they can't finish out the fight. So just great peel, I feel like, from the bot lane of HLE, the self-peel from Guma, and Delight also keeping the Pantheon as far away from his AD carry as he can.
Oh, Delight does manage to cleanse that one off, thanks to the unsealed spellbook, so is not going to be taken down here. Teddy, though, does have Immortal Reminder now completed, so going to start doing a bit of damage here in this game, especially as armor does start to get stacked up. And sort of just naturally from levels, especially at this stage of the game, it is going to be very valuable to have some pen in the build. So no worries there, but does really want the Infinity Edge if he wants to be doing any damage at all in this game. Duskbringer connects onto Kanavi, but nothing too much else going to come of it. And so HLE with a massive amount of control. You know, 5.6k is a very large gold advantage. They've got a couple of Drakes set up, not exactly with Soul Point just yet. 3.5 minutes, and they might be able to just use the map control they have in order to lock that one down. Yeah. And if they do go for a slow and steady game, it should just very comfortably go in HLE's hands. The thing is, they have been a little fast and loose with some of their decision-making, especially last week. So we're hoping they can get it together this time around, just play a cool, calm, and collected game. Maybe channel some of what we saw from DRX, perhaps, in their first game yesterday. Which was just some beautiful macro play and controlling the Rift where they can. This is a game that is certainly open to a play like that. Zeus is going to face check a Renekton and does try and hop his way out of there. Breaks the Fear Tether as Deadly Flourish is going to go wide, so that is no assist going over to Teddy. A lot invested, though, as now the Baron is going to get started.
I mean, they have decent DPS from the Azir, but Varus isn't the fastest at doing it, and Baron takes so long, so I think, yeah, they're backing away. Don't have the time to do it, and honestly, that whole time you were talking about the slow and steady macro play, and I saw Zeus walking up to that brush, I'm like, this is on you, Max. Yeah. He's just setting that up.
I mean, sometimes you've just got to go with where the comedic timing takes you, you know? And that's sort of where we were there, because we all knew he was going to do it.
Yeah. The fact it was prompted as well with the vision toggle before that, kind of setting up the spook, and then it happened there, you know, the spookiness came through.
Jonas Strong just knew. All right, casting going to be taking some crystalline overgrowth here towards the bottom side of the map. I think that he should be able to pretty comfortably take this turret down on the next wave that is conga lining its way forward. It's going to get there, won't even need to walk away from the turret. As we do see Kanavi starting this one off, but that ward gets all the value that the Bros require. They throw down another one just to make sure they know exactly what this health bar is looking like, and Paranoia has been available as in goes Namgung. That is going to be the steal from Gideon as well. Highway robbery as he is going to get taken down. 2 dead, but they do steal the Baron, so they keep their base alive most likely. HLE looking a bit worse for wear, but they do keep everyone alive. And despite losing the Baron, this is something you've spoken about a lot, Ox. If they're able to then translate the man advantage into structures, then they could still find a big lead. As you can already see, the Rebel Baron power play minus 200.
Yeah, I think XP probably the main thing that Bro are going to be happy about from this, from getting the Baron. They'll get a big chunk of XP, and you do get comeback XP now from securing the Baron. Though to be fair, they went that far behind in terms of levels, so I'm not sure if they'll benefited from that. Overall, but yeah, the gold isn't that significant, but I think denying the Baron buff from HLE, definitely the main thing out of this. Gideon flies in, manages to secure it,
Shockwave looking real good there as well.
Yeah, unfortunately that forward shot from Teddy doesn't connect onto Kanavi. Maybe could have got the kill there.
All right, check it out from Gideon's perspective here. Sails in, looks pretty excited and tells everyone to get the heck out of there. Yep, back, good.
Yeah, I mean, already it's a negative Red Bull Baron power play off the back of those 2 kills. Just shows that the gold just really isn't there anymore from this objective.
Yeah, still, like you say, defending, the fact that there could have been a Baron play for HLE, that's certainly a good thing. Is Casting also able to take some plates here and going to be able to even out that Rebel Baron power play quite comfortably? As Kanavi now moving over towards this Cloud Dragon.
Hey,
got to take that one down. Hey, there we go. Plus 600. No worries. Casting takes down the turret. And good use of the Baron. There we go. But still, Soul Point goes over to HLE. And Cloud Soul for all of these champions is... That's scary. You won't be able to get on top of Gumayusi anymore. He just throws out Chains of Corruption, locks someone down, and then sprints away.
That's the thing, the fear from the Nocturne. Like, he just runs. Like, he ults and he just runs out of the tether as well.
Yeah, you would. Doesn't feel very good. And even if he does get the fear off, then he's still sprinting. It's kind of ridiculous. All right, Delight just looking to try and get vision down where he can. And they do have a decent amount of it. But the Bros, I think, have bought a fair bit of time. So I think it's the next fight going to be an honest one as, okay, they look to try and lock down Zeus. Deadly Flourish is going to hold him in position as he will die. And now Kanavi is in a very awkward spot, does have to flash, but the Ruthless Predator is there and Casting. Man, that ability name is correct with how dangerous this guy is. But the Sand Soldier comes out from Zeka and he's able to punish this support Pantheon. And he does get stunned up, but Teddy not with too much of a follow-up as now Kanavi, oh my, of course he is. And there he goes, diving on forward. That is going to be the flash out though of the Cataclysm. Deadly Flourish, not quite as deadly as it really wanted to be as it misses. And Kanavi, he's just continuing to go in. It's Kama Kanavi, man.
He's such a psychopath. He's just,
he goes in again.
Chill out for a second.
Please just go home for a bit, man. I know you've got a GA, but like, come on. All right.
He wants to put it to use, so that's the only thing I can get from this.
You only get value if it's on cooldown, okay? All right, that's a very deep teleport. As all right, in goes Delight. Let's see whether Zeka and Kanavi can actually get here in time as Gideon baited by the blue buff. He is going to be able to secure it there, but down he will go. Gumayusi going to lock up the Nocturne.
Yeah, not too much they can really get for the Nocturne being dead, but they should be able to look to push here. The mid tower has some overgrowth built up on it. Problem is, they don't have a Baron buff, and the Orianna should just be able to clear the waves out. We'll see, though. Maybe they can look to threaten her off the turret. Quickness is about to come up and available. Chains of Corruption set too.
Yeah, this is a bit scary. As the Bros, it's their turn to go for the flank play. Scary Crocodile, but Namgung is going to get engaged on. Has Jaeger's in there. It's a great shockwave from Roma. Zeka goes golden, though, and there's that GA that Kanavi wanted to use. He's trying to get out. Burning, and the Tick is going to be able to take him out. There is now Gumayusi. Yeah, that's a very scary Crocodile. And down will go the Varus one more time. Curtains have been called here for Zeka, but he shifts those sands beautifully. Get himself out of the way. There's still not a whole lot to fight for.
This game is such a mess. It's unbelievable.
I love it.
Yeah, this is, I mean, yeah, what do we expect? 2 teams fighting for their first win in the LCK Cup. Bro has been here many times before fighting for their first win. HLE, not so much. You know,
the defending first stand champions still yet to find a victory here.
Yeah, I think there was some stat which was this is the first time ever that HLE has gone 0-2 in their first week of play.
Oh, really?
I think I saw that somewhere. I'm going to trust that I'm going to trust the source if I saw it somewhere online.
Wow. I think if you saw it online, it's probably true, right?
Yeah, people wouldn't just go on the internet
just
and lie.
On the internet. That's
yeah, that'd be crazy.
No, don't do that. Because, like, think about it. Then if you lie online... Oh, I just headbutts the wall. If you lie online, then, like, all of the AIs and stuff that people use are probably going to get stuff wrong as well because they like to get the information from there. So,
that's
like,
true.
It just kind of ruins everything.
Oh, man, yeah.
And we all like to just trust everything.
That'd be like trickle-down lienomics, you know?
A bit of being facetious here on this broadcast currently, as we are now just going to look forward to the next fight. Likely to be in about 10 seconds' time, as the Baron, as you can see, swimming up the river.
Yeah, Guma's flash did get burned in that last scenario again. Possibly could have just held it. I think his fate was pretty assured. And also, Teddy now has IE, so he is doing damage.
Yeah, he's scary.
Doesn't even need cashback. He just builds his items the old-fashioned way, one at a time.
Yeah, it's beautiful. He's also got a cheeky BF sword there as well. So a new best friend in that inventory. And yeah, Teddy, when he finishes that off, what is it going to be, a Bloodthirster or something like that? He's already really hurting. But every one of these bullets is going to be painful. As okay, here we go once again. And yeah, Gumiyushi's not allowed to play the game. It's just kind of illegal at this point as Jaeger goes up there from Nangun to keep him alive. But the turret gets angry once again. It looks like they're not going to be able to take down the Pantheon though, and he is allowed to escape. Their use of just pressing man drop paranoia over and over again, it's working.
Yeah, and now Baron's up, Dragon's up. You know, you've been a lot of cooldowns there. Maybe just head over to Dragon with Guma being dead. Do need to heal up, though, in the meantime. Gideon's just going to solo it.
Yep.
Namgoon's getting back on the map. They are moving over towards the Baron, and Gideon obviously doesn't have the ult yet to get over, but it's coming up soon. He wants this Dragon. He's committing, so you're going to have to force him off this objective, and it's going fast.
It is going very fast. Zeka does so much damage to this. It's okay. Pre-exhaust onto casting, and that is going to be Kanavi locking down the Baron. That is just the 1-2-3 punch onto the Orianna to take him down, but Casting gets on top of Zeka. He has to go golden, and Casting's going to get wiped out. Finally, Gideon makes his way in. The flash, and Gideon closes the gap onto Zeka. And now Teddy's trying to fight this one out. Finally, Gumiyushi shows up, and he is angry after getting targeted earlier. That is going to be only the Nocturne left alive, but not a whole lot of Barons are left on the map as it's only Delight glowing purple.
17 kills each. What is this game? Wait, he dropped the Dragon. He didn't finish the, the Dragon. Oh, man. It's just crazy. This play is objectively exactly what Bro wants, and then it just doesn't pan out in any way at all because they go from this to like, okay, we'll kill the Dragon. Then he has to leave the Dragon and deal with the Baron, but they don't stop the Baron because he's too late. His ult's such a short cooldown at this point because he has 5 stacks of Ultimate Hunter and the Experimental Hexblade that his ult actually comes back up in a couple of seconds. And look at Zeka, by the way. Look at this little drift trick.
Oh, what the
Nearly
heck?
gets him away. And then Guma even teleports in to clean up. And in the end, the Baron power play after this was a 1.5k advantage for HLE.
Yeah, it's the old Baron. Let's just say that
it's now 1,100. Dragon is still up. The game is still undecided.
I mean, it's 3,000 gold. It's nothing here at 35.5 minutes.
It's chaos.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
And Teddy has the old 6 items already completed, as does have Storm Surge now done.
Has the extra spot for the control ward.
Oh, wow. Beautiful.
What a team player.
You love to see it. As all right, let's see who's going to be able to pick this one up. This is Cloud Soul for HLE if they're able to get it. And the Bros just looking to try and deny. There's the Paranoia. Shockwave does nothing at all. As Zeka once again shifts the stance to get himself out of there. You can see Zeus being so annoying in that backline. Finds the double stun and keeps himself alive for such a long time. It's Kanavi that gets a double as he wipes out the carries of the Bros. And Casting not long for the world. They will be able to get the soul, but most importantly, they very handily win the fight, and they may just be able to win the game.
I don't think they can clear the waves. Those two against the 4 strong of HLE. Overgrowth in the tower as well, going to make it easy to take. This should just be the game end unless Gideon and Namgoon can pull off a miracle here. I don't think it's enough.
And what did I say to you when you first turned up at LoL Park today? I was like, are you looking forward to the 6 gamer? Well, I mean, this was pretty close. We might actually have a 3-game series here in our first one, but this time, HLE are going to be able to find the win in game number 1. An absolute bloodbath with 40 kills in 37 minutes. But there it is. The orange tank takes down the Nexus.
Managed to execute better, and that was it. But that was certainly a game. Certainly
it was.
A lot of game in
one
League
of them of all time, absolutely.
Yeah.
포킹 네. 8초. 6초. 슬슬 당겨볼게 이거. 온다. 위에 좋아. 아래 봐. 아래 받아. 봐봐. 레넥 보자. 레넥 따고 게임 끝. 레넥 따고 미드 가면 게임 끝. 용 먹고 그냥 가도 될 듯. 미드 가자.